thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
It is Monday, the 4th of September, 2017. Broadcasting live from ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here within the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and everybody knows it. I'm a member of the Catholic Christian community here in the Bahamas. I am joined in studio by a good friend and colleague, Rastanero Thompson. Rastanero, how are you?
Mr. Monker, I am wonderful. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am fine. I thank you. My spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is on his way to the studio. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I welcome all of you to Freedom March. Saturday, the 2nd of September, was a sad early morning for a family on Long Island. And while that episode of hacking and murder was taking place in the wee hours of the morning, there were many people here on the island of New Providence who was just waiting for daybreak so that preparation could finally be made for that great Freedom March. And so on Saturday, hundreds of Bahamians from all over the Bahamas assembled on the Sudden Recreation Ground, where there were delegations coming to New Providence from Bimini, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthera. And so we have a lot to report on how the people rose up and triumphantly march against a government who will be tested if God doesn't prevent Irma from coming to the Bahamas. Because in the history of the FNM, Irma has always been a terrible omen in the party. Well, they had to deal with Irma physically. She wanted contract within the FNM. And then, of course, Irma, a powerful hurricane, according to international sources, might be heading here to the island. So there's a bunch of things on our mind that we shall be discussing with you. And then, of course, there is the Punch, today's Punch, where the Punch, recognizing the incompetence of the National Security Minister, Marvin Dames, and the fact that the FNM is like a chicken without a head, instead of just criticizing the incompetency of Dr. Minnis, our beloved Prime Minister, and his National Security Minister, the Punch muddies it by bringing the PLP in their stories, notwithstanding that the people have voted out the PLP. And what time it is? It's the FNM time to demonstrate that they can govern the country. And I thank the County Joe people who now say they will support my criticism of the F&M. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. It was a week of murders taking place here in the Bahamas. And so Ross De Niro Thompson, who is my guest until my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is here, I've given him a wonderful scripture to read to the nation. Ross, what are you reading from?
Well, reading from the Celebrating the Eucharist, the Roman Catholic book.
Okay,
It's
well,
a nice book.
go quickly, Ross, and read something that might ease a lot of bad feelings.
Monka. The Lord comes to judge the earth. Sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord all your lands. Tell his glory among the nations, among all peoples, his wondrous deeds. For great is the Lord and highly to be praised. Awesome is he beyond all gods. For all the gods of the nations are things of naught, but the Lord made the heavens. Let the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice. Let the sea and what fills it resound. Let the plains be joyful and all that is in them. Then shall all the trees of the forest exult before the Lord, for he comes to rule the earth. He shall rule the world with justice and the peoples with his constancy. This is the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 4, verses 16 through 30.
I thank you, Ross De Niro. I'm certain that you have had a Catholic education.
That is true. I went to Catholic school, Catholic primary school, St. Cecilia's Catholic Primary, and I went to St. Augustine's College, the Big Red Machines, for 6 years as well.
This is powerful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, not yesterday, on Saturday, hundreds of Bahamians slowly gathered for a great camp meeting on the Southern Recreation Ground. Some of the naysayers said that God would not bless us and that the people them would not show up. Well, they got a shock when all of a sudden the woman them, they began to show up at the Southern Recreation Ground, followed by the man them, and accompanied with the children them. And so hundreds of people gathered. And then a wonderful organization, We Rise, they arrived with hundreds of people. And then, of course, as I looked through the crowd, an F&M, an idiot who had voted F&M only for having been given the job by the PLP. He voted for the F&M. And the next thing I know, when I mounted the podium, he kept calling me. So I finally decided, let me hear what my Negro brother had to say. And he said, Monka, I is F&M. I said, well, I is F&M too. He said, but they fire me. I said, you really voted F&M? He said, man, I voted F&M, but they fire me. I said, well, you're here. We'll have no confession today, but we shall march. And as I observed the crowd, a delegation came in from West End, Grand Bahama. We had people who flew in from Bimini. Then there was an 81-year-old woman who came in from Eleuthera. And the next thing I know, a large woman delegation from Hatchet Bay. And there was Hatchet Bay, Abaco, Bimini, Grand Bahamas. Bahamians began to assemble for the great camp meeting. And as I looked through the crowd, I saw a large contingent of PLPs. And I said, boy, the PLP guys say. So PLP supporters show up. All right? And then F&Ms who took off their shirt, because we're living in a period now where F&M supporters are frightened. They're frightened because they know that Minnis and his party has no problem in firing. So it was a wonderful crowd, and we rallied, and then afterward we sallied through the streets of New Providence. And as we marched, the people them were on the sides of the street welcoming us as if we were conquering heroes having just returned from war. And they joined the march. And then the next thing I know, we had people from one family. They joined the march. And the march just swelled as the people yearn for a government that will not victimize them, for a government who will keep the promise to move the VAT of the breadbasket items. Young people on the march demanded accountability and wanted to know, when will the Prime Minister finally declare universal education in the Bahamas? And when will the people then be able to go to the University of the Bahamas and they ain't got to pay one copper? So it was a wonderful march. And as we march into Grandstand and march into Bainstown, the people them welcome us. The police was so surprised over the love and unity that was displayed along the route. It was powerful. And there was no incident. The people then welcome us. Baintown starving. And so when they saw us, they knew that there was help and hope on the way. It was so powerful.
How many persons did you have on the march, Mr. Monka?
Well, one Negro man told me it was 6,000.
Wow.
And so when I saw Senator Fred Mitchell, I said, listen, one fellow count 6,000. Mitchell said to me, no, he don't think it's 6,000. I think he said it was like half of 6,000.
3,000.
But I can't count good. I went with the Negro man who told me 6,000.
Okay.
But Fred Mitchell, you know, he went to university. He could count better than me. And when I told him the man said 6,000, he said, no, he think it's 3,000. And we was just approaching Meadow Street. All right? So I decided if Fred says 3,000 and the Negro man says 6, I add them up together. And I got 9,000. As I satisfy Fred with his 3,000 and the Negro man who says 6.
Were there any other prominent Bahamians on the march?
We have videos of the march. It would appear that the media is attempting to suppress the march. All right? ZNS wouldn't carry it. We have march here on this. This is the only Freedom TV station in the country. Show it. I can't see it on my monitor. Ross, can you see it?
There are photos coming up of the march right there.
Coming up.
There's a video right there.
There's a video. You see the people marching? Okay.
I see a good friend, David Bennett Johnson.
Right? Yes, I can see it. See all them people there? And these real people.
They on holograms?
Some of them were people who go on and vote F&M. All right?
Oh, Miss Monkey, you got big thing out there. You got big band and everything, man.
See that Negro male with the white T-shirt? He's an F&M general. But by grab, after minutes, then fire them. They recognized that they made a mistake. And so, there is a great camp meeting for the 1st of October, the first week in October. We're going to rally and we're going to sally. My God, look at the people them. All right? The people them just voted for the F&M.
Mr. Monkey, you were able to mobilize a big crowd for that event, man.
Listen to me. Every Bahamian contributed.
Wow.
As Justice of the Peace, I call on the people them to peacefully march and motorcade. And I didn't know it was this much discontent. Next thing I know, people just start pouring in. It is miraculous how the people have answered a peaceful call to protect and defend the democracy. And some of the placards read, move the VAT, stop the political firing. It was so powerful. And those who think that there is no opposition in the country, you all tell a lie, because the people them are rising up peacefully and marching. The senior police officer who was in charge of escorting us, he said to me, when I questioned him, I said, was there any incident? He said, Mr. Monker, not one incident. It was so peaceful. So it's a peaceful revolution taking place, and we must keep the pressure on the FNM. I got some intelligence from some County Joe people in Long Island. They were at a sophisticated place, meeting and strategizing, when they said that they were happy that we here on Freedom March is keeping the FNM foot to the fire, and that they do not want the people to fall in love with the FNM out of fear that the FNM will then manifest its personality for corruption. So I'm happy to hear that Long Island elites living in Nassau are pleased with our work here on Freedom March, and they are pleased that hundreds of Bahamians have marched peacefully through the streets of New Providence. I want to salute all the women them who came out, and I was happy that the women them have responded to their leader, because I'm the leader of all the women them. And as my leadership expands, we shall be demanding more for the women them. We're not going to tolerate any physical abuse of the women them. We don't want that, because the women them are called upon as mothers of the nation to struggle for a peaceful and just society. And the women them will be protected. And I have decreed today that no woman shall be abused as of today. And any man who's a member of our organization who abused the woman shall be expelled. Okay? So the woman, I salute the women, I salute the young people. And what is significant about the march is when you examine the category of people participating, these were mature people. These wasn't no jokers. Mature men and women leading in the forefront. And I thank God that He has blessed the march. And I thank God for every member of our society who participated in the march. And I thank God for the level of political maturity. I think it is wonderful that a group of citizens can mobilize peacefully, and we'll have it another way, because notwithstanding what you might think, I am one of Her Majesty's Justices of the Peace, and it is my duty to maintain the peace while carrying out political action. And it was powerful that every citizen who participated was so peaceful, so orderly, so disciplined. And I thank the people of the Bainstown and the Grandstown constituency where we march, that they welcome us as they know who we are, their brothers, their sisters, their parents. So it was powerful, Ras De Niro.
Yeah, so what was the purpose of the march again, Mr. Munker?
Well, we have seen since the FNM came to power that the jobs that the PLP created, the FNM has dismantled those jobs. Today, I've received intelligence that quite a number of citizens were to be fired today. I've not been given my update. So we are marching against political firing and victimization. Then on Long Island, where the people overwhelmingly voted F&M. The murder has begun to increase. And you, who would have been following the news, would be aware that a woman was murdered and her mother-in-law was severely damaged.
Yes, I heard that as well.
And then, of course, police are slowly informing the public that there was a series of murders. And on my way to the studio, the way those two patrol cars was driving along Bird Road, it sounded to me like another murder may have taken place. I don't have the evidence. I'm only speculating. So don't accept my words until such time as the authorities tell us. But that is how it looks. So we're living in a stage and an age and a period in which the F&M is turning out to be clueless. And now the Punch is frustrated and is beginning to criticize them. Beginning to criticize them by examining the blue-eyed boy, the Minister of National Security, Marvin Dames. Marvin should now, well, I think it's too early for me to ask him to resign. I'll give him until next week, Monday, to see if he can improve on the crime. And Marvin, if you're not sure, don't forget how I helped you out many years ago. I'm still willing to assist you. Remember how I helped you out? I'm still willing to assist you. All I need you to do is to tell your daddy to stop telling people that I don't like you. All right? Because Marvin, I want you to believe me. If I just say again, I don't like you. Marvin, I love you. Marvin, I love you. Please tell your daddy, stop saying, I hate you. He stood up by me, he looked at me and he said, you don't like Marvin. And I looked at him, I said, yes, I love Marvin. So Marvin, the next time I see you, this is not an assault, I hope your pa there, I'm going to kiss you on your right cheek. Because your pa keeps saying, I don't like you. And I love you, Marvin.
That's a kiss of peace in the Catholic.
I love you, Marvin. Don't forget, your sister got all them children for my first cousin. So, I love you, okay? But when I come back, Marvin, I got to look at what the Punch is saying about you and the F&M. And then, when I return, I have to look at the opening of the schools to see how Deacon Jeff Lloyd, he just fucks up everything. And I think we should fax him. Because I'm getting reports out of Marsh Harbor, Abaco. A Negro man called me, and I'll tell you about it. And I want the County Joe people to verify if what he told me is the truth. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Views and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker, and I am joined in studio by Ras Denero Thompson. Ras, welcome back to Freedom March.
Mr. Monker, always a pleasure to be here this afternoon.
Well, folks, for those of you who might not have seen today's paper, I'm going to recommend the Nassau Guardian and the Tribune, because in the Tribune, on page 6 of the Tribune, there are a number of photographs of the march. And then, of course, on page A11 of the Nassau Guardian, there are some photographs as well of the marches. But one can sense that both the Tribune and the Nassau Guardian are disappointed that the people have risen up against a mean and spiteful F&M government. But let me assure them that unless the F&M repent immediately and start taking care of all the people there, not only F&Ms, but every citizen, there will be more marching through the streets of New Providence. So I just want the people to know it. And of course, I was blessed to have the opportunity to speak with the leader of the opposition and the leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, Mr. Philip Brave Davis. And I indicated to him privately that I didn't want him to join the march. I didn't want him to join the march, notwithstanding that I am political. See, I don't play games. I am political. I said to the leader of the opposition, don't come to this one. Let's see how this can look first. And then afterward, it will be at my discretion to say to you, man, come march with us, okay? So I just wanted to say that because someone here in the studio raised a question with me while we were off air. But I thank the acting commissioner of police for the full cooperation of the police force. I also thank the chairman of the Public Parks and Beach Authority, Shannon Dawn Cartwright. And I thank the police officers who personally worked the march, the motorcade, and demonstration. Under the F&M, I'm receiving information that disturbs me. I had the opportunity to speak with a parent of a policeman. And the parent told me that they prefer to talk to me about it. And so I'm only quoting the parent. The police would know if what I'm saying is the truth or whether or not I'm being misled. But having listened to the parent, I believe the story. And I find it disturbing, as this is the people's time. Parent told me of a son who's a policeman who was threatened by a thug with a very big gun. And the parent was very, very concerned. And I said, that really happened? The parent said, yeah. I said, well, has the police found the culprit? She said, no. Goodness me, I shouldn't say the sex. Anyway, she said it, because it is the woman there who's telling me these things. Now, I want to warn people in the country who are criminals. Listen, it is dangerous to threaten police with gun and then speed off. It's dangerous. We can't have that. Okay? We cannot have people who are in possession of illegal weapons threatening policemen and then speeding off. That's what the woman told me they did with her son or somebody's son. Anyway, and they're upset. We cannot have a society where people, don't mind the F&M in charge. That is wrong. And if you don't stop it, at some point, justice will be caught up with you. See, it's dangerous already pulling a gun on a civilian and threatening that person. It is super dangerous to pull a gun on an individual police. All right? Having slept and said she, I'm going to stop right there. I'm not going to say any more. There was more to be said, but I miss and describe the sex of the person. I wanted to say it in a skillful way to ensure that I was hiding identity. But I was distressed by that. I don't want a society where we can pull up on policemen without punishment and pull gun. I don't like that. All right? And I ask those who have it in their mind to take it out of their mind. Because don't mind your gun big. The police got plenty big gun. And I ain't going to be able to row with y'all, for y'all. Now, if you ain't got no gun, right, and you only row and curse, and the police shoot you, I can row for you. See, I can row. I can say to the police, well, no, you shouldn't shoot the man. But if you have gun and threatening police, what you want the police force to do? You can't have that. And I was very disturbed over that piece of intelligence. I would have said more, but I ain't going to say no more because I slipped and said she. I like to talk where those who are listening to me will never be able to figure out my source. But I don't like the story, okay? And I want the government to speak to the people and tell the people we will not tolerate anyone threatening citizen and judge doing it to the police. I don't like what I was told. I don't like it, okay? I really don't like it. I find it disturbing and stressful because I can't believe people could be that bold to do that. I don't like it. I'm going to leave it alone. All right? So that is what I am going to say as it relates to that. There were some other things that I was going to say because they give me a bunch of complaints about the police and yeah, I'm going to say it. Now, I am going to suggest that where there are major drug busts, that the police put on ski masks. That's all I'm going to say. All right? If there are major drug busts involving gangsterism, I think going forward we should put masks on the police so that those whose drugs are being confiscated will not be able to tag and identify the police. I don't want to say no more because I miss and say she. All right? I think that is what has to happen because we must pursue criminal investigation and drug busts without exposing the identity of law enforcement officers to, unlawful action. I hate to say it. That is as much as I want to say. And let's hope that the authorities are smart enough to pick between what I have just said, because the people them do tell me things. And I want a society where the police can operate without any unlawful reaction. The Punch is interesting, Rasta Nero.
Yes, sir.
As the Punch argued that we need to hire foreign police to win war on crime. Well, Mr. Punch, we did try that. In the 50s, the United Bahamian Party brought in from the Caribbean quite a number of West Indian policemen. Among those is a policeman who the commissioner of police, as he was, the late Sir Thompson, testified, came into his office and incited him. That's not the word. What the word I'm looking for? Not incited. When you want to incite, is it incite?
What context are you using?
Get somebody to do something.
Instruct? No.
No, instruct is too weak. Anyway, I've forgotten the word for the time being. But attempted to encourage him to overthrow Pinley. So among these foreigners was 90-year-old Paul Thompson, who came into the Bahamas to help with law enforcement. There was also another social argument that was used to bring in Paul Thompson and a lot of West Indian police. And that was that the UBP, recognizing the political, economic, and social disparity that existed was always afraid of the black masses. And so the West Indian police were brought in as that buffer. It's a lot of stories. Don't forget, I am the son of a policeman who, had he lived, would be in set with Paul Thompson. So I know a bunch of little stories over how the West Indian police maneuvered. And that is why those of us who are 60 and over, we have built in us genetically, because of the abuse that West Indian policemen carried out here in the Bahamas. It is in our genes to resist foreign policemen. It is in our gene to resist it. The first time I met in person the late Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinley was on the 11th of October 1975. How did that come about? The state minister in the Attorney General's office, Elspeth Johnson, his daddy, the late Oscar Johnson, was the chairman of BEC. And on the 17th of August 1975, a man who they say was the police by the name of John Knox physically assaulted me. And having assaulted me, I went to BEC to complain to Cat Island Member of Parliament, the late Oscar Johnson, who was the chairman of BEC. And after complaining to Oscar Johnson said to me, I'm going to set up a meeting for you to see Pinley. And Oscar Johnson arranged that meeting. And on the 11th of October 1975, I met with then Prime Minister, the late Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinley, and the then Deputy Commissioner of Police, the late Gerald Bartlett. And that came about as a result of John Knox, a mulatto man, said to be a policeman. Some people later in years say, no, he was in the real police. But he had assaulted me. And I decided he wasn't going to assault me and get away with it. So in our genes is to resist it. You see? Because people like me remember the abuse. And those who are older than I, they know of greater abuse. So in our genetics, for our own personal survival, we have rejected and we have resisted foreign policemen. It's a bunch of stories I could tell you where citizens have been abused by West Indian policemen, black West Indians, that the white oligarchy brought to the Bahamas to keep these passive Negroes in check. And we shall continue to resist foreign policemen because I'm 60 and I live in an era where I know lots of stories, and there were no coroner's inquests into many deaths that citizens suffered at the hands of West Indian police officers. And so, Punch, we're going to resist it because we know what they have done. We know of the abuse that has taken place. And we also know that having come to the Bahamas, many of them have stolen the crown land. See, that's the problem they got with me. All right? Because I know my history. And God bless me when I decided, boy, I got to ask Pinling how this go. And God bless me when Oscar Johnson, who was then the executive chairman of BEC, arranged it. So I watched these fellas and I listened to them, and I am still in a position to say, we will use our own police. We ain't bringing them in. They stole up all the crown land. You heard me? They manipulated because they were more educated. An examination of many of the West Indians who came to the Bahamas, either as police officers or in the Crown Land Department. They were more educated, they were more sophisticated, and they recognized that we were passive and to a very large degree stupid. All right? So I want to punch them and the F in them, because let me tell you something. Most of the stories in the punch, it is the working of Dr. Minnis. You hear what I tell you? So when you read a lot of things in the punch, it's Minnis, our prime minister, who's supplying the information. And so we have to be careful. We must resist foreign invasion in our police force. Take it from me. They stole all the crown land. Don't mind them. All right? Don't mind them. And in fairness to Paul Thompson, the last time I said it, I think I ran into him and he said to me, now listen, I was the only one who didn't get any of the crown land. So I want to be fair to Paul Thompson, having told me that some time ago when I came here on Freedom March and accused a lot of the West Indians. Let me, in fairness to Paul Thompson, who's a 90-year-old man, he did say to me, listen, I didn't get any of the crown land. So let us watch. Let us watch this argument, because many of you, you don't know what I'm talking about. One day, I might bring the crown land map on the show so that you could see how skillful they are. And in the course of that generation coming forward to Christie and Ingram, they kept a man in the office of the prime minister in charge of land. All right? What his name is? Ezekiel. I sit here
Audley
today.
Greaves.
Audley Greaves. And let me tell you something. I am convinced that Audley Greaves is a magic man, because he has been able to get Christie and Ingram to keep him in charge of crown land. Of crown land. So I just thought I shall say that to you. All right? And in the punch,
Email.
the punch continued to tell us that Marvin James is losing the war on crime. I hate to tell you this secret, because there are many things that are told to me in secret. So perhaps I wouldn't call Leslie Miller name. Goodness me, I did call Leslie Miller name. Leslie Miller, upon hearing that Dr. Minnis had nominated Marvin James as a candidate, he was overheard to say how Dr. Minnis had selected a wonderful candidate. And so those who were sitting with him said, what do you mean? He said, Marvin is a former deputy commissioner, he's well trained, and he will be able to battle and manhandle crime. And those who sat with him wanted to be kind to Leslie Miller. So they just listened and said, really? Really? Well, today, Leslie Miller, you are losing that argument, because Marvin is losing the battle on crime. Never before have I ever heard, under any Minister of National Security, including Tommy Turnquest. And you know, Tommy wasn't a good Minister of National Security. I've never heard where criminals have been able to stick up police and threaten them to such an extent that some people believe the police even didn't report it. All right? So, Leslie, I'm happy to say Leslie's wrong.
Wow.
Yeah. When he said how Dr. Minnis bring Marvin. You see how I know all kind of things? And that's what Leslie Miller say. Now, Leslie Miller, Marvin is losing the battle. You should perhaps go and sit down with him and give him some advice. All right? Because when that woman tell me what happened I can't believe it. And I want you all to stop it. Nobody is to pull gun on the police. Stop it. It's against the law. It's a sin. And one day, the police will catch up with you all. So I just thought to say it. I ain't going to read all this thing that the Punch had to say. It would have been such a beautiful article if the Punch had left the PLP out of it. Just focus on Minnie's incompetence and focus on Marvin incompetence. All right? Other than that, the Punch, what you say?
I said we got the latest update.
We have the latest update
We
now?
got the latest update.
Well, this is good.
We can ask the producers to load it up on the screen.
Well, load it up on the screen, and let me just finally wrap this up. And so, Leslie, you're wrong. You're wrong. And Menace, you're going to have to talk to Marvin. You may have to put Marvin in transport and put Frankie as Minister of National Security. All right? Because Frankie may do something. It's like when I was demonstrating peacefully, and Frankie had, what they call it, the big long gun, M16. It's not a big gun.
Uzi?
I don't know if it's an Uzi because I don't know gun good. But all I know is when he saw me with my placard, he stood in the front of me. So I moved to the left, he moved to the left. I moved to the right, he moved to the right. And I only had placards. So if Frankie knows how to pull a gun when a man is peacefully protesting, perhaps Frankie is the Negro that you may need in national security and send Marvin to transport. I don't know. But we have the latest labor.
Mr. Monka, we do have the latest advisory on Hurricane Irma, and it's not good news.
Is she still coming this way?
She's still coming this way.
Okay.
At 5 p.m., the center of Hurricane Irma was latitude 16.7 degrees north, 54.4 degrees west. It is moving towards the west at 13 miles per hour, and current wind speeds are at 130 miles per hour, so it's a Category 4 storm as we speak. And the forecast cone has it coming this way, impacting the southern Bahamas first and moving up the entire Bahama Island chain.
So
it's a Category 4.
It's a Category 4.
It's a Category 4.
What was the last hurricane? Matthew.
Hurricane Matthew was a very weak Category 3 storm. It was Category 3, but it wasn't that powerful, but she's packing winds at 130 miles per hour, and that's dangerous.
Now, if she lands on the island of New Providence, where will she enter Nassau from? You have any idea?
From the south, from the southeast. That's the South Beach area, the Yamacraw area, the Marshall Road area, the same areas that were damaged by Hurricane Matthew.
Will it come near Adelaide and Albany?
Well, I'm not too sure.
That's southwest.
That's southwest. So yeah, everything on the southern coast, as with Matthew, will be inundated with seawater, stuff like that, seawall, the sea surge, and everything.
Well, we'll talk a little more about the hurricane. But this is a wonderful challenge for the Prime Minister, because when Matthew came, he criticized the PLP. First he said the PLP didn't do anything for the F&M. So with this hurricane, I call on ministers to make sure F&Ms are taken care of first. So we wouldn't have no complaint. And then, of course, what about the many citizens whose house and roofs have not been repaired? Could this hurricane be a curse that Menace has brought an atheist into the Ministry of Finance? I don't know. And since how powerful is this hurricane?
It's a Category 4 storm, Mr. Wonka.
That means I have to surrender. Ain't nothing I could do. I'm a poor man. Hurricane, if you're coming, come swiftly. But I rebuke you. Lord, it is my prayer. And if it is your will, please divert the hurricane away from land. We have sinned, Lord. So please protect us. And let's hope that everybody would listen to civil authorities. So if you got money, go buy your plywood. Start buttoning up. Bread is expensive, but see if you can get some bread, some tuna, some sardine, and get prepared. Get your water. Listen to the authorities, all right? Because Irma in the F&M was never a good person. So I don't know what's going on. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. My spiritual advisor is in the house, Bradley Roll. How are you?
I'm doing great, Senator. What's happening?
Well,
the country is busy.
we had a wonderful march on Saturday,
Yes.
and the woman them keep asking me for you.
Really?
I told them that you were busy and that...
That's right, because it was the woman them who had me busy.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they call me, they say, listen, we got this tree we need to be shaved, we have this tree we need to cut down.
Really?
Yeah, so
You were getting work.
they had me busy, and as a result of that, I couldn't attend your
Well,
march.
as long as you were working,
Yeah, the woman them had me busy.
this is powerful.
They were the ones who called me Friday evening and said, listen, we got some work for you.
Well, there was a woman who was there, and all she had was more work for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get her name and
I
telephone
have
number?
her name.
Yes.
And I shall,
Yeah.
arrange.
The more money, the merrier. Eh?
Yeah. Last
Absolutely.
year, when Hurricane Matthew came ashore, you were living in the southern part of the island.
Oh, man, Marshall
Are you still
Road.
living in that area?
I'm still in Marshall Road, South Beach. We have recovered quite well, as a matter of fact. There's still some issues in the area, some roofs. And, of course, a lot of the fruit trees and so on and so forth are still, blown down.
What are the conditions of homes on
But
the southern
a lot
shoreline?
of the homes, have been repaired fairly well.
Okay.
There were one or two of them who had some structural damage. You had, because of the sea surge, there were some folks in their homes who didn't have the what do you say again now, the corrie.
Okay.
It wasn't packed properly.
Okay.
As a result of that, when the water seeped in through the houses and into the tiles, so on and so forth, it weakened the foundation,
Wow.
and you had homes collapsing on the inside. So those homes, two of them right now, are still under repair. But for the most part, the area is, you can see hurricane did pass through it.
Okay.
Right now, if you drive through Marsh Road near the waterfront area, you can see that a hurricane had passed through.
So are the people on the southern shorelines, are they taking notice of the reports which are coming in?
Well,
the Americans, I'm being told, they are, whatever that thing is called, their tracking device, I've been advised, has suggested that the hurricane will come straight through the Bahamas, but another Negro source told me that the Europeans are saying it will veer over to Cuba.
I
Who
think,
should I listen to? The Americans?
or the Europeans?
Or the Europeans?
You know what's interesting, Mr. Mudd, because as it relates to these hurricanes and their tracking, it would appear as if the European models are more consistent and correct. They have this hurricane actually
do we have
coming a bit south more.
Show me some stills of the storm projection. Go ahead, my spiritual
Yeah,
advisor.
it's traveling a bit more south, and of course, as it heads west, southwest, it would go over Cuba and then into the Florida Straits. That's the
Okay.
European model.
Okay.
But of course, the American model, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Whose model is this?
This is
we're
the
looking at?
European model.
And you
You
say I
see?
must listen to the Europeans?
Well, they seem to be.
Oh, the Americans and the Europeans, who are the smartest?
Well, I don't know.
What you mean you don't know?
I believe the Europeans are.
You think so?
To be honest.
I think it's the Americans.
You think the Americans are?
Yeah, you remember
All right.
Comrade Fidel used to say that all them hurricanes,
Yeah, but
say the Americans create them. You think the Americans creating these storms?
no, man.
Well,
This is Mother Nature.
Cuba said it was the Americans.
I can tell you one thing.
Yeah.
They could break it up.
The Americans can break it
Yeah,
up?
they could break it up. Yeah, they have reconnaissance stuff that can fly into this, and they can release stuff and break it up. Yeah,
So
they can
why
do it.
didn't they break up
I
the
don't
one
know.
over Texas?
I don't know.
You sure?
I think that's what they can do. That's what has been said, that they could break it up.
So why didn't they break up the one over
I don't
Texas?
know. I don't know.
The Texas votes.
I don't know, unless
the
it's a
president?
conspiracy theory, but that's what I understand that they can do. They
Really?
can, yeah, but I don't think they want to do it.
Why?
The stuff they have to use, I don't know if they can do that. But the European model has it headed more south.
Wow.
In any event, the Bahamas is still going to feel effects, You know, even if it's just tropical storm winds and rain, we're still going to get it. The European model is what we want, to be honest.
Okay.
That American model, no, sir. That's going to be a problem for the Bahamas.
If the American model
If that American model is
correct.
correct, yeah, man, that's a problem. That could really set us back.
So
That could
what
really set us
suggestion
back.
do you, did you live through the storm on the
Well,
second
no,
half?
no, you know.
What did you do?
Listen, when that last hurricane came, that was Matthew?
Yeah.
When that came through the Bahamas. That did something interesting. Remember now, it went southwest, and as it left Hispaniola
Yes.
and got in between Cuba and Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken, then it head north, and it came up to the Bahamas. That's what caused the problem for the low-lying areas in the south, all right? Because that hurricane was traveling west, and then it split between Cuba and Jamaica, and then it came up north and then into the Bahamas. But I don't think this hurricane is doing the same thing. This is just going southwest.
And southwest means what?
Southwest, from all the hurricanes that I've experienced, remember now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, cyclones, they turn in an anti-clockwise motion. Do they?
I don't know.
If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
So it means that if it is coming southwest, that the damage, if it's New Providence, would be on the west side of the island, where you get all the sea surge. Now listen, I'm not a meteorologist now, by no stroke of imagination, but I've been recording some storms, and I've been recognizing that. But in our case, that storm came southwest, and then it head north. It came up between Cuba and Jamaica, and we got hit hard. You know,
So-
Marshall Road's a mess. Mr. Monica, I don't want to go through that no more in my life, to be honest with you.
So
It was
what
a
do you
mess.
plan to do, my spiritual advisor?
Well,
Will prayer change things?
well, you know, prayer. There's a lot of power in prayer, Mr. Monica. No dispute in that. But we still have to be wise. We still have to be, shrewd. You gotta prepare. Get all your
Yes.
your batteries, water, canned goods.
Can I see some more projection?
Yeah.
Because have you heard if the government start opening up any or identifying
Well,
shelter protection?
I'm almost certain that is coming swiftly, right? But it's interesting to see how proactive the government has been in all this.
So they are proactive.
They have prepared.
Tell me
they are
what
prepared.
they have done so
NEMA's
far.
gotten together and along with the Prime Minister's office, and they have looked at what are the possibilities, getting Bahamians prepared. They're going to have all these updates available for Bahamians. They're going to be opening up shelters, and I think as the week draws near, they're going to advise whether or not schools are going to be closed and so on and so forth. But the NEMA is coming together and organizing very, very, very well. I must say that. Must give that to them.
And you're pleased with it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
But I have confidence in you.
And to be honest with you, Mr. Monica, I had to go into Kelly's
Yes.
today to purchase landscaping equipment, and Bahamians are there.
What are they doing?
They're buying batteries. They're buying lanterns. They're buying the battery-operated fans. All the stuff that they need. Candles. So Bahamians are
preparing.
Oh, they're preparing. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The only thing I haven't seen yet is I haven't seen people going out to get plywood and stuff to protect windows.
Do you know
and doors
if
and stuff.
NEMA is providing any plywood?
No, I haven't heard that.
You haven't
I haven't
heard
heard that.
it.
But
You
the
haven't
government
heard
has warned, and I must praise them for this. The government has warned all of the suppliers and folks who sell hurricane supplies that price gouging would not be tolerated by the government. As a matter of fact, the Prime Minister says that he has informed price control to go out and watch for price gouging, because people take advantage of people in these situations, which really should stop, because it's an emergency situation and we really need to be our brother's keeper and help one another during this time. But this storm is something we need to pray for, and just hope that that maybe God will smile on us. Category 4 is not a good thing, not a good thing at all.
Okay. Well, my spiritual advisor, I thank you for that.
Absolutely.
better
So
update.
it seems as if we may have to lay off the politics somewhat and try to get our people
What do you mean
prepared.
by laying up of the politics?
Because I know how you go. This is a serious time here. When the storm hit, man,
Well, we won't
we gotta get
march
prepared.
if the storm is taking place. Nor will we sit down on Bay Street.
Of course not. But how was the march, man? How was
Listen,
it?
my spiritual advisor.
Did you have a good turnout?
One
The people
Negro
supported
male
you?
told me it was 6,000.
Really?
So when I saw Senator Fred Mitchell,
Fred Mitchell was there?
yeah, he was there.
Really?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, he
You
was
seem
there.
to be a powerful man nowadays. You're drawing crowds, Mr.
But it's
Monica.
not me; it's the people. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want you to swell my head. I'm 60. I didn't mind my head being swollen when I was 30, but I'm 60, and this is a corroborative. What the word is? Effort. The people them are suffering. You know, they're losing their job. I think Jeff Lloyd is going to fire a bunch of them today.
A bunch
Right.
of teachers.
People. All right.
The
So-
Ministry of Education will fire people.
Yeah, and then of course, school opening was not as good. We got reports out of Central Abaco, Marsh Harbor. We were told that the students had to stand up. Someone called and complained that there were no
Chairs.
no furnitures. I don't know
Wow.
to what extent, but I'm depending on him.
Investigate it.
And then,
and
of
see what
course,
it's
we
worth.
know that Stephen Dillett, that wasn't ready yet.
Yeah, of course. The government did announce that it wasn't going to be ready.
And we have reports of people that showed up to bring children at Stephen Dillett. So I don't know what is going on. All I know is Jeffrey Lloyd continued to remain grossly incompetent.
But you know what? There was a news item where Mr. Lloyd did say that there are going to be some schools that were not going to be ready. However, the repairs were going to be to the point where the students would not be able to access the school. He did confess that a lot of schools would not.
Well,
be,
that don't do nothing for me.
Well,
For the minister to
it'll
tell
be
me-
consistent for him and
For
today's
the
complaints
minister
from you.
to tell me the school ain't gonna be ready, I don't want to hear that.
But this is an ongoing thing with both governments. I mean, it's not only the Free National
So
Movement.
last
But,
year,
yeah, it's always
schools-
every year. All
Was-
this is this just the same script, but it's a different gas. That's all it is.
listen to me, Jeff.
That's all it is.
Listen to me. Jeff Lloyd is a smart man.
Of course, he is
This
very
is a
intelligent.
sign of gross incompetence on the part of him and the FNF.
Now,
Stop finding excuse.
he's trying to change some things in the education
What is he trying to
department.
change? Huh?
the way-
the first thing he
Our
changed
education-
was to give a contract without sending it to tender. Stop telling me that. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you both today?
Listen,
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm saddened over the murder, but I'm euphoric over the march.
Yes, Mr. Monker.
Yes,
You remember I spoke to you at Ricardo Monker's funeral on Saturday,
you did.
where I shared with you some 7 reasons why I was marching, because persons wanted to know why I would be taking part in the march.
Well, say it again, because, I'm 60 and,
And I was, Mr. Monker,
yes.
first of all, let me say, spiritual advisor.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm very disappointed that you didn't come out on Saturday.
Well,
Because the people really want to meet with you.
Really?
And I'm hoping that the next time that you would come out. But Mr. Monco, let
Yes.
me tell you something. I was there because I wanted to see for myself on Saturday.
Yes.
You know, all these people were saying this thing, that thing, the next. That 81-year-old lady who came down from Eleuthera.
My God.
She kept calling and asking me what time I would be picking her up because she had to come there and meet you.
Yes.
And she was she was elated to know that she was able to finally meet you.
She's a
Mr.
wonderful
Monco,
woman.
I marched with you on Saturday,
Yes, you did.
and my heart was gladdened when I saw the response that you got from the people.
Oh, hallelujah.
If one individual could pull out that amount of people, when we turned into Meadow Street and I saw the love being expressed by the people
Oh, yes.
towards you, Mr. Monco, like I said, you had to have been there to experience it, and it was peaceful.
Yeah, my spiritual
People in this
advisor.
country are serious about taking a stand against things, and it has nothing, like I tell people, to do with politics.
That is true.
We must hold the government feet to the fire.
Yes, we must.
Spiritual advisor,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just want to say to you, because you just came on the show, and once again, you're trying to, make excuses. What Mr. Monco said is true. Jeffrey Lloyd is incompetent as the Minister of Education, and there's no reason. Have you passed Columbus Primary on Wolf Road?
No.
And see the grass so high? All the people from the movie Avatar could hide in that.
Right.
That's
Okay,
right.
ma'am,
I've seen that. I've seen that.
We must call a spade a spade. But Mr. Monco, once again, thank you for being bold enough
I
to
thank you.
stand up and lead the people. And I'm hoping next time, because there was a wide cross-section of people from different stratas of our society.
That is true.
And the next march is going to be even bigger because people will realize that they're not going to be afraid of the victimization.
That is true.
So continue to do what you're doing.
God bless you, my
God bless
sister.
both of you. God bless our country. And
Yes,
God
ma'am.
save the Queen.
Yes,
God
ma'am.
save the Queen.
God bless you. as
I
well.
thank you. Hello.
She's such a pleasant
Good
lady,
afternoon,
isn't she?
Mr. Munker, and good afternoon, the spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Great, great.
I
great.
went to drop my grandson at Galvantine's Primary School this morning.
My Lord.
And like Mr. Minister said, that every MP is going to be at those schools. And I was I saw Don Sanders
He was there?
and Frankie Campbell were there.
Okay.
But what really disturbed me, Mr. Munker,
Uh-huh.
one of the classroom, I refused to let my grandson go into that classroom because
wrong
the
with
paint
it?
scent was strong.
What said
The
it again?
paint scent.
The paint.
Oh, God.
The paint bucket, everything was still in that classroom. And
Don't say
let me
that.
tell you something.
Yes.
People clothes got all painted up at Galvantine's Primary School.
Really?
I'd like to know if they just painted those classrooms this morning.
Well, wherever Frankie is, Frankie, listen, it's another incompetence on your part. Your incompetence in Maritime Authority and now at Gavin. Listen,
Did you take any photos? Did you take any photos?
Well, I told my daughter to take the photo. One parent took a photo with the tile in the classroom.
Uh-huh.
That tile was horrible. And listen to me,
Yes.
they really need to get organized at that school.
We'll case them out. You take good
The
care.
Galvantines?
Yes,
Yeah.
at Galvantine,
Okay.
like the children all over, you can't find grade 3 to put the children in. You can't find this. They need to get organized.
Well, I thank you. I got some more callers. Let me hear what they
Thank
say.
you, okay.
Okay. My God, Frankie them lose grade 3. They can't find that. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Senator. How are you?
I am fine, but I'm getting bad reports. What's on your mind?
Well, I am somewhat mad, too, because I'm wondering whether the people who work in Shirley area, the constituency area,
Yes?
we haven't gotten paid. Some of us have not gotten paid, not as yet.
Really?
That's right.
Oh, what's going on?
I'm
All
one
that
of those
money.
people, them.
Oh, Jesus, all that money they got. What are they doing?
I'd like to know.
Goodness of mercy. Listen, I'm going to curse them out for you, okay?
Thank you very much.
You take good care. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello, Mr. Munker,
Hello, my sister.
and your spiritual advisor,
Good afternoon. How are you?
Go ahead, speak
and
to
your
us.
spiritual advisor.
He
Good
answered
afternoon.
you.
Mr.
Good
Munker,
afternoon.
Yes,
I saw the gathering yesterday. I was watching television,
yes.
and I saw the news with the march,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't recognize you because you always with the headpiece on. And I say, oh, this is Mr. Munker.
Yes. Go ahead, speak to me, sister.
But, Mr. Munker,
Yes?
I would like to say these couple words to you.
Go ahead.
Little is much
Little is much.
when God is in it.
Yes,
Labor not for wealth or fame.
yes.
It's a crown, and you can win it
Oh, praise the Lord.
if you go in Jesus' name.
Amen. This is powerful. I thank you for those kind words, okay?
And God bless you and your spiritual advisor.
Thank
God
you
bless
very
you too,
much.
ma'am.
God bless you too. Thank you. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Are you there? Hello, Hello?
Hello?
Yes? How are
Yes,
you?
I'm here.
Speak to me.
Mr. Munker.
Yes, ma'am.
I was passing East Street South today, and you know the little preschool out there?
Uh-huh.
They were just painting and mowing the lawn
Man, don't say
today.
that, man. You mean to
The
tell
little
me?
preschool.
My God, Deacon Jeff
Mr.
Lloyd?
Munker,
Yes?
hardly any of those schools were ready. You hear me?
I know.
The couple that were ready, it was showtime for them to visit those schools.
My God.
Mr. Munker.
Yes, ma'am?
This F&M government, I'm sorry to say that's your party, but they ain't ready to govern.
But I know they ain't ready.
No, they're not ready
They're
to
not
govern,
ready.
Mr. Munker. What is happening with Marvin Deems and this crime?
I don't know. What's going on? The
He
punch say
needs to
Marvin
go
is
sit
losing
and
it.
speak with Keith Bell.
Now, that's smart.
Somebody.
Yeah.
He need to go, and then we need to find the commissioner of police.
Yeah, I'm told that somehow he can't be found. I don't
You
know
know,
what's
how
going
is it we have a press conference today with this hurricane coming up, and we have an acting commissioner of police and a commissioner of police?
Well, under the FNM, anything is possible.
You're right, Mr. Munker. This is crazy, though.
Yeah.
Let your party know they won, and they could move on and start to get the business of this country done.
Listen, I got to talk to them, but they ain't going to listen to me because
I know. Well,
a bunch of unsaved people.
Because, you know, he is flip and flop. He like the same Irma coming.
Well, listen, you can't blame the
what happened to me?
advisors.
He need to go talk to them, because one day he come there and he sing their praises, and the next day he ain't sure if they can give him a contract.
It ain't that. It isn't that, you know.
He need to stand up.
Yeah,
the schools are not ready. The Marvin Dames and the crime is too high.
It's too
Everything is going.
It's murder. Now a man chop his wife to death
Exactly.
and her mother-in-law.
That's right. When it ain't man stabbing his wife, his baby getting shoot. Something's wrong.
Yeah. We're in trouble.
We're in trouble, big trouble. We need to march again, Mr. Manka.
Listen, we're going to march in October. We march in October.
Yeah, be ready.
Yeah, we march in October.
Okay, thank you.
Well, sister.
All right.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
I hear y'all got a hurricane song? Well, let me hear it. Let me hear how this hurricane song go.
Yeah, state of emergency.
Oh, well, I can't hear that now. Any more?
If you'd like to make a call,
any more of my people on the phone?
Let's go.
Hello? Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
How are you doing, sir?
Say that again?
Good day, Mr. Monka. How are you doing, sir?
Listen, I'm angry. Jeff Lady ain't got the school ready, and the children them uniform, according to a Negro lady, is getting paint on it.
Wow, Mr. Monka, it's just so many foolishness going around in the country now. Mr. Monka, you know I had to use my accent today because my F&M friends, they might report me to Turnquist.
Who's Turnquist?
Peter Turnquist.
Okay. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Yes, Mr. Monka, I'm spiritual advisor, highly disappointed in you, sir. You're supposed to come out to the march. You on Freedom March every day, but you're not representing what Freedom March is exactly supposed to mean.
I do apologize.
Why didn't you show up?
I do apologize, but apparently we had some people in Freedom March who needed me to do some urgent work for them, and it took me
No, you're supposed to be Mr. Monka right-hand man, and how can he go to Freedom March and a spiritual advisor who always on the show with them did not show up?
Yes, you're right. You
that was highly disappointing, and the viewers, they watching you, spiritual advisor.
I understand that. Forgive me. I must apologize publicly, okay? Forgive me.
And also, with Irma coming, I haven't heard you say a strong prayers yet, man. You're worse than these people who lose their host last year. You're more terrified than them.
We can pray. We can pray. We can pray.
I thank you very much. I think you have rebuked my spiritual advisor sufficiently, okay?
Yes, Mr. Monka. But Minister, I don't know what to say about Minister right now.
We have to pray for him.
But keep on with the Freedom March. I'm marching, Mr. Monka. They're very good. We need the next month of them.
October. We'll march in October.
Oh, yes.
If it is God's
You're going to pull them out quicker than quick. 5 years. It won't be 5 years. It will be 2 years or less.
I thank you very much. Take it care now. I got another call. All right. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Yes.
Mr. Munkar.
Sir.
Hello to you. I'm the spiritual advisor.
Yeah, how you doing?
All right here, man.
Great.
Sorry I couldn't make it in Saturday. I had some financial problems. I couldn't get into Nassau.
Okay. That's understandable.
Mr. Munkar.
Sir.
You were talking about the foreign beliefs.
Yeah.
I was born in 1951. I grew up on East Wolf Road near Camp Road.
Yes.
I saw the brutality that those police carried out up in the Camp Road area.
Yes.
I saw them kick people down and destroy people.
Yes.
Especially the big, tall giant from Trinidad.
Yes.
You know who that is?
Yeah, he was convicted for cocaine possession. Don't call his name.
Okay. The big, tall giant was a police officer from Trinidad.
I say he was convicted for cocaine possession.
He has a son, something on Paradise Island.
Don't go no further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw what he did to people. I saw and then you had an ex-gentleman. He stole my grandmother's land right off of Wolf Road.
Wow. Is the land
they
did
some terrible things.
Is the land still there?
Hey, he done dead gone. His offspring's got that now.
Wow.
All the property out in South Beach what my grandmother had.
Yeah.
They did some terrible things.
I know.
Now, spiritual advisor. Y'all please ease it on my boy.
Hold on.
You know.
I got to let you go. The music is on. I thank you. You've made a valuable contribution to the history of having uncontrolled foreign policemen. Foreign police my foot. Y'all go hire some Bahamian and train them to fight crime. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back after the break.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker, and I'm joined in studio by my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll. Please do not curse out my spiritual advisor. He's only a human being, okay?
I can take it.
You can take it?
For the most part, the rebuke is okay because I think they do it out of love. Okay, I don't think anybody who is a part of Freedom March has any ill faith towards me.
Okay.
Or ill will towards me. I think it's just regular rebuke.
Do you know, this is the first text I'm going to read. Do you know Galvantine's primary school is not ready for Monday? This government is joking. This is a text that was sent to us on the 31st. Read the text, my spiritual advisor.
Okay, we got quite a bit. You have 156 texts.
Stop letting spiritual advisor from arguing. Stop letting spiritual advisor from arguing with you. It makes you look bad. He's getting beside himself. I don't like him. Listen, don't hate the spiritual advisor.
Tell a person I love them, whoever it is.
The spiritual advisor
text them back and tell them I love
man.
them.
Let's take this call and then you read some text. Mr. Monka, I don't always agree with you, but this time I must. Frankie Campbell and Marvin Dames need to switch. Wow. Isn't that powerful? Hello, welcome to Freedom March. The word is incite, which means to stir up. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Mr. Monco, why march? F&M the government for a very long time. By grab, God save the Queen. You get a march as long as the F&M keep pussy footing. My spiritual advisor, read a text.
Okay, no problem. Here we go. Where am I? Okay.
Yes. Okay. Read text, my spiritual advisor. You have text?
Yeah, quite a bit. Oh, the phone. Go ahead. Let me see the apps.
You can't find. Okay. Hello. Let's take a phone call. Yeah. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hi, Mr. Monco.
Hello, my dear. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And spiritual advice, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Okay. Well, I just called you to let you know, Mr. Monker, you have so much power. You're very powerful.
You think so?
You actually got my mother to come out on the march.
Wow.
And she has been on 2 Labor Day marches on your march in 66 years.
Really?
Yes, I wanted to come, but I had a wedding, so I couldn't come on that march.
Well, your mother is a wonderful woman. Tell her I am flattered and honored that she came. And I yearn one day to meet her. I asked her if it is God's willing to join me when we march again in October, okay? I thank you so much. Your mother is special.
I have something else to say.
Go ahead, my sister.
Okay, I'm trying to get ready for this weather, right?
Okay. Yes.
And I just noticed, Mr. Monco, and spiritual advisor, I haven't had garbage collection for almost 2 weeks. I think this is probably the 3rd week.
Where do you live?
I live on Seabreeze Lane.
Goodness me, who's your MP?
Mr. Monco, waste of time.
So
she just went missing.
Who's your MP?
Yeah, she went missing, so
Rowe?
we used to calling her. So I decided to call the Department of Environmental Health.
And what happened?
And I still haven't been able to reach anyone.
Really?
So I don't know what to do.
I say, fax them. Fax them or text them. Call them. And Mrs. Lanisha Roll, come on. If you can't get the garbage truck, your daddy in the business. All right? That wouldn't be a conflict. I approve it. Send your daddy, Ambada. Just let me know when he's going so I could cover for you. But we can't have your constituent garbage not being moved. It's the rainy month, so two things is going to happen. A bunch of mosquito. Not only mosquito, rats.
Rats.
All right? And rats carry big germs. Deadly germs. Come, Lanisha, what's the problem? Can you say you want to be an MP? We'll go move the people garbage. Sister, take good care, because I got some other people on the phone.
Okay.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Munker.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hello. And nice march.
It was a wonderful
Enjoyed. And
I thank you
keep
for
it
coming.
up. We're going to have the next one in the big day.
Yes.
And when forward and upward and onward was together,
yes,
everything was moving smoothly.
Wow.
It's the people's time. They laid the back on the side and let Fitzgerald and Mr. Alkitis get back there.
Yeah.
Because nothing going right. The people, their money, those people that work all the time, now they need to get paid.
They need to get paid.
So they need to step on the side and let people who know how to handle the job take over.
Well, let's march again in October.
Yes, in the big morning.
In the big morning.
Hot sun.
Hot sun.
Street and all.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You're a wonderful woman. I
have
thank
a nice day.
God save the Queen.
All right.
Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Rodney, how are you?
Listen, I'm not sure. What's on your mind?
Well, you saw me with my bucket?
Listen, you didn't have very smart in that bucket, though, eh?
Huh?
I saw you, yes.
Thank you very much. Rodney?
Yes?
I am very impressed by the woman them.
Listen,
They showed up in forces.
Listen, the woman them are wonderful. I always knew the secret, you know.
And Rodney, you so much woman who was side of the road?
Listen, when the woman them saw their sugar, I mean, it was a good thing that it was hard sugar, because I almost melt.
But Rodney,
yes,
spiritual advisor cost me $50.
What happened?
What happened?
People were looking for spiritual advisor, and I bet that spiritual advisor would be there, but I did not see spiritual advisor, so I had to pay my $50 to the woman them.
I am
But the lesson
sorry.
that you must learn is before you bet, consult with me.
Oh, wow.
You follow?
I am
Yes, sir.
so
I will do
sorry.
that next time. But Rodney,
yes,
the Guardian and the Tribune,
yes,
I think they were disappointed. I think they wanted you to have a small crowd,
yeah.
and they were shocked.
They don't know what time it is. It is the people's time.
Thank you very much.
And the people demanded what of rice and not salmon. It's the
Rodney,
people's time.
it was a good march.
Listen, it was wonderful.
I enjoy myself.
Listen, I'm looking forward. Each participant must bring one person. So when I see you in October, if God spare our life, you must come with an extra man and a bucket. How
Thank
does
you
that?
very much.
You take good care, my brother. I got some more
Yes,
people
my
on the
brother.
phone. Hello, welcome to Freedom
Hello.
March.
Mr. Monker.
Yes.
How are you this evening?
Listen, God is good. My wife is now in hospital. They find her a bed.
Oh.
And they've sent her some wonderful doctors.
Okay.
So I'm keeping hope alive, and I want you to pray for my wife.
I will. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Saturday was the first time in many years that I have marched without my wife.
Oh, boy, that's so sad. I'm going to keep in my prayers.
Please do that.
But guess what, Mr. Monker?
Go ahead, my
The
dear.
lady who called a while ago was my daughter, and she was referring to me.
Really? You
Listen,
young.
like she said, I don't go on marches. I met you. I took a picture with you.
Okay.
The lady with the blonde hair.
Yes, that was you.
And I promised you that I would have showed up. I had a funeral and I had a very rough day.
Yes.
But you had a wonderful march.
We had a wonderful march.
And you really don't get me to march, but I marched all the way to Meadow Street.
Uh-huh.
And then I caught a ride and came back.
Okay.
But you keep up the good work.
Well, promise me you can come if God spare your life in October.
If God's from my life, October, I'll be there. But I want the spiritual advisor to be there.
I'll be there
Because
for
I
you.
asked you about him and I was looking for him.
Yes.
But I wouldn't beat upon him.
Please don't.
I'm
But
sorry.
by the grace
Forgive
of
me.
God, I'd like to see you October, God's willing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And listen, I want
Hey.
you to do me a favor.
Uh-huh.
When you come as a grandma, are you a grandmother?
I am a grandmother. I have 5 grandchildren.
Bring me another grandma.
Okay.
Okay?
I was trying to get a couple of my friends to come. I called, but they were out.
Okay. Well,
okay,
tell them,
but you
tell
do
them
well,
now.
and I'll be praying for your wife.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful evening.
God save the Queen.
God bless you.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hey.
Yes? Speak to me, comrade.
Okay, that's me?
Yes, that's you. Talk to me.
All right. Yeah, this is me again.
Okay.
This is me again. Two things.
Go ahead.
One is crime and one is education.
Let me hear education first.
I'm going to start with education first.
You're a good man.
I'm going to start with education first because a lot of people don't understand. They talk about Percy Munnings, who was the numbers man. He gave $100,000 in 1 year to education in this country.
Really?
And you and I talked last week about Sahari Oates. What did he ever do for the black people? Nothing. He did it for the Conky Joes and the white people and the Bay Street boys.
Totally true.
Okay?
Listen to me.
Now, I'm going to tell you about
Put
crime.
that Negro man on hold.
Now,
listen to me. I want you to speak history accurately. Sahari Oaks made a major contribution to black people. There were periods in that era where there were no jobs, and he created jobs. Come now, not because the man is white, you just curse him out. Look at the facts, and let us say history accurately. Bring him back. Are you back? Hello?
how many black people work? How many black people work in the casino industry that he brought into this country?
How many black people work in
that was the last casino before Paradise Island.
Listen, it's a long story. One day, I'm going to talk about Sahari Oates and the people who murdered him. They're now dead, so I could call their names. All right? But that's a long story. I got to let you go because the producer told me there are other people.
Yeah, only.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, my dear. How are you?
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Well?
Hello. Hi, Mr. Monken. How are you?
Well, it's a combination.
And good evening to spiritual advisor. And how you doing?
I'm doing great. How
What's on your mind, sister?
Mr. Monken, I have a question for you.
Please.
Is Marvin Dean the Minister for National Security?
Marvin Deans is the minister responsible for national security. Yes. Speak to me. Talk to me.
If I remember correctly, he said that if he got in, he have the answer for the crime situation.
Yes,
so
he did say
what
that.
happened to the answer for this crime situation? What is he doing?
Well,
he said he has the answer in his campaign.
Yeah, he did say so. He now recognizes what he is up against, and he should send for help. Right here among us, we can help him. All right? But obviously...
Of course, he needs help very badly.
He does?
Because guess what? They never had a plan. That's why they lost. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. They don't know where they're going. They're just trying to fumble their way through. They need to get somebody who could lead this country, because right now, I don't see no leader.
Wow.
We going 40 years back, because we sure as hell ain't going forward.
Wow.
No.
You think they're taking us back to Egypt?
Bye, Mr. Muncan.
Thank you very much, my sister.
Oh, yes, it look like.
Yeah, they're taking us back to Egypt. But let's pray for them, and let's keep marching, okay? Take it here. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello, Mr. Monker.
Hello, my love.
How are you? I so love you, boy. You're a handsome fella.
You really think I'm handsome?
Yes, and tell your spiritual advisor hello for me. I wanted a woman them from 62 to now.
This is powerful.
Wow. Me and Penny, you know, only thing I have to do now, we have to go up in the House of Assembly and throw the maize out and the hourglass. And we'll do another march of Black Tuesday again.
This is powerful. How old are you?
I was sitting there and listening to you, but I didn't hear you mention about your wife. But since the lady called and asked, I'm glad to hear. I'm sorry to know that she's in the hospital.
Okay.
But I'm going to be praying for her.
Please do that for me.
I have a problem. I cannot march, but that's my main situation.
Why you can't march? You can't walk?
I have arthritis in my leg. I can't hardly
Listen,
walk.
we will get you
no, I'm one of the women from Grand Bahama, but I'm from Nassau.
Okay, then.
I'm a 62 in 1962.
Uh-huh.
I come through majority rule, Black Tuesday, everything.
You're a wonderful woman.
What I'm trying to say here,
Yes.
I had a meeting with Glennis Hannah Martin and Melanie Griffin on Saturday.
Really? How did that turn out? Was it a wonderful meeting?
I couldn't afford to come up in Nassau, but I would have been on one of them parade on the truck.
Yes.
Because that's my main thing.
Well, plan for October.
Pardon?
Plan for October.
I see why them gals keep calling them woman them.
Yes.
He was an extremely handsome man.
But listen,
and don't let the spiritual advisor take that looks off of you.
Okay.
You be yourself and don't get angry. Keep trusting in the Lord. God can bring us through.
I thank
Absolutely.
you. I thank you. God bless you.
Yes,
thank you, my
we
love.
love you too.
Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
Speak to me.
Yes, we talking about crime now.
Goodness me. You back again? Tell me. I'm giving you
talking
5
about crime.
seconds. Go ahead.
Right. When Mr. Barnaby was Commissioner of Police,
that's Kenneth
Mr.
Barnaby
had an Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crime called Reginald Ferguson.
Okay.
He was in charge of crime as Assistant Commissioner. His assistant was Marvin Dames, ASP. They did nothing to bring down crime. Crime soared under their leadership.
Really?
Soared. And now he has the formula for crime, where he was a deputy commissioner and wouldn't have the Mr. Greenslade going to Canada. All the money we spend for him, he need to pay it back to the Treasury because he's a greedy person and he mean-spirited. And guess what? He don't know who he's dealing with because guess what? We ain't asleep. I won every UBP meeting out of the government ground in 1968 and 1967. Me and my boys won them out of there. Okay?
Okay. Well, I thank you. All right. Hold calls for the time being because they need the spiritual advisor. Let me hear the song. Play the song.
Into Marvin Dames.
The Hurricane song. Will the public be able to hear it? All right. Let's hear the Hurricane song. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hurricane song.
Yeah, state of emergency. Y'all should know already that Hurricane Irma is on its way. So I need to prepare. Let's go. Get your plywood, get all you need. Cause this hurricane coming with speed. Get your plywood, get all you need. This is hurricane coming with speed. Irma, Hurricane Irma, you better get what you need. Irma, Hurricane Irma, this hurricane coming with speed. Irma, Hurricane Irma, get what you need. Irma,
Solo is the artist.
Hurricane Irma, this hurricane coming with speed.
The FNM in trouble.
Get all your
you gotta remember name Irma. She's rough.
Get your plywood, get all your ice. Before the people them try raise the price. When you go inside the shop, make sure get your bread. If you get your bread late, then you go hold your head. Remember to get plenty water. Remember to secure your daughter. Get inside. Irma, Hurricane Irma,
she's a bad gal.
You need Irma, Hurricane Irma, this hurricane coming with speed. Irma.
Is it this way?
Hurricane Irma, you better get what you need. Irma, Hurricane Irma, this hurricane coming with speed. Check on your mommy, check on your daddy. Don't forget to check on your Grammy. You
my spiritual advisor, can you shake a hand?
Buy food, buy many batteries.
No?
Living in
I am very dead when it comes to music and dance. It's just not my thing.
All you gotta do is come back when the coast clear. Secure your passport and your documents, else you can catch plenty hell to replace them. Make sure your car get gas in it and stop doing things last minute. Irma, Hurricane Irma, you better get what you need.
FNM Irma. My spiritual advisor.
Quite a bit of text.
Read me some more text. That song was by a talented young man who goes by the name Solo.
He has a song for everything.
He has a song for everything, according to my spiritual advisor.
Mr. Monica, you're talking about school ain't finished. Central Pine Primary ain't have no chairs to sit in.
Wow.
They sitting on the desk.
Goodness of mercy. What kind of government this is?
Go on Bahama Press. The pictures are there, Mr. Monica.
Okay.
Now, this happened when the PLP was in power and you wouldn't hear the last of it.
Wow.
All right, here we go. Got quite a bit of text. Good day, gentlemen. These needs to stop.
Wow.
Depending on the government to fix their roof. Roof was leaking before the hurricane, after the hurricane. I did mine already.
Wow.
We behaving like too much slackness. Spiritual advisor, I'm disappointed with you. The F&M will be able. Anyhow, God got you. Good day, spiritual advisor. Anyhow, good day, Mr. Munker.
Yes.
Spiritual advisor, you should been to the march. People were very. Sorry.
That's my spiritual
Good
advisor.
day, Mr. Munker. And spiritual advisor, you should have been to the march. The people are very disappointed in you. Do better next time, okay? You're a spiritual advisor, man, okay? And, do better. Good day, Mr. Munker. I think you need to do a march in Briarland. The roads got craters in them.
Really?
And the school looked bad. Our children them had to go to school. The school's in very bad state. I'm an F&M, but many of them doing fool by allowing any kind of people to mess up our schools.
Wow.
Go
ahead.
Senator, what is your response to Omar Archer and his shot across the bow at you? Are those accusations that Omar Archer has levied against you, are they true?
Listen, whatever Omar says about me is not true. And if he think it is true, he should go to the police. Go ahead.
Good day, Mr. Munker. I would like to know if you can find out when the person on the 52-week program in Central Lutra will be paid.
Listen, we're going to work on that. And once again, I call on the government to pay the people, man. They don't work. For goodness sake, man. Jesus have mercy.
Hello, Mr. Munker, spiritual advisor. Can you give a shout out to my grandma, Ruth Russell? She is one of the women them, and so am I. Freedom, Mr. Munker. God
Ruth
save
Russell,
the
we
Queen.
are happy to salute you.
Mr. Munker, congratulations to you on the success of your march. The Bahamas need more activists like yourself. Keep up.
Well, we all must march, and this time each of us must be committed to bringing at least one person to the march. Go ahead.
Mr. Munker, I agree with you 200%. The majority of West Indian police officers abuse many. Many Bahamians are probably upset and want them to go to hell or to jail.
Wow.
Okay, that's the same text. Young students at Central Pine Primary. Wow. They have pictures here, Mr. Munker.
Really? What are they saying?
They're sitting on the desk.
Where's this?
There are no chairs.
Where? Read it. Tell me where.
This is in Abaco.
What part?
This is Central Pine Primary.
Is that where the Conky Joe boy represent? Marsh Harbor? Is that Marsh Harbor? I think it's Marsh Harbor. What the Conky Joe boy name? Who's the MP? Is it Hanfield?
No.
Hanfield is not Conky Joe.
No.
Hanfield, I can't remember.
Ask Ezekiel.
What? Ezekiel, send me the Southern Abaco Member of Parliament. Whatever his name, but young man, how you could allow this Negro government not to have your school ready? Come man, stand up for the people. What time is it?
It's supposed to be the people's time.
It's the people's time. Anyway.
Good afternoon, spiritual advisor, Mr. Monica. It is indeed good. As we are about to experience another hurricane, let us take time out to ask God for his protection over the entire Bahamas. If we never need the Lord, if we ever need him, it will be now, Mr. Monica.
That is true. We shall pray.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. This is Ursula, one of the women from San Salvador. Shout out to all the women.
Hello, Ursula. I love San Salvador.
Yeah, we love you and God bless you.
Yes.
Good evening, Senator Monica. I listen to your show on a daily basis, and I have my nephew who is 3 years old.
Wow.
And I think he's your biggest fan. The part he likes to hear is when you say, fax them out. Ooh.
Really?
I wanted you to send a shout out on the show to him on the show.
What's his name?
Is Makisi.
Makisi, you must be a wonderful Negro baby. Listen, I yearn for you to come to Nassau and march with us, even at age 3.
He is all the way from Canada, and he wants to take a trip to Nassau so that he can meet you and the spiritual advisor.
This is powerful. Bring him.
You need a children them group, Mr. Monica.
This is powerful. Bring him. Let him march with us in October. Go ahead.
Let's see. Okay.
Go ahead, my spiritual advisor. The clock is counting.
I see that some of these texts. from Patelco.
They're from Patelco?
Good evening, Mr. Monica. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
what I understand was a successful march this evening.
The people came out. I thank all the people them who came out and marched. We thank you.
Absolutely.
More text, my spiritual advisor. Oh, I got to talk. The clock is running out on us.
Okay, freedom. Go ahead, talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday is the beginning of breaking the government's momentum and making them more accountable. That's the price you pay for a democracy. And watch what has happened. When the F&M was marching, the United States government issued all kind of travel advisory because they know who was in their march. But on our march, I don't know what they can do in October, but in September, there was no travel advisory because they know us sets of Negroes, we believe in the rule of law. And we are still faithful to Her Majesty the Queen in accordance with the law. So, I thank you for the participation, and I salute everyone who participated, everyone. And it was all of us collectively that made the march powerful. So all of us should, my spiritual advisor, quickly, all of us should receive a rousing...
A round of applause, yes.
I understand
it was successful.
So everybody, okay? And no one should take special credit. We all. If one of you had not come, then it would not have been as successful. So we thank God that we live in a democracy where we can apply to the police for permission to peacefully march, and it was granted. Close out with the hurricane sound. Irma.
Irma. Hurricane Irma. You better get what you need. Irma.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.